Is Damian Lillard going to be a New York Knick within the next couple weeks? We have no idea, but the league is cracking down on Dame's team that he can get traded to. We're going to talk about all that and more in another episode of. All right. Let's start with Dame because we have not seen the league actually crack down on a player requesting a trade in years.
Yeah,
Since the last one I can think about, they last time they vetoed a trade was like Chris Paul, Kobe Bryant. Well, Chris Paul to go to the Lakers to play with
yeah.
Kobe.
That was like 2013 or
Right.
something.
In the last 10 years, we have seen players demand to go places pretty much all the time. Kevin Durant has demanded trades. James Harden has demanded trades. Multiple players who are superstars have demanded trades to places that they wanted to go, and we have not seen the league crack down on any of it. Even this offseason, we saw James Harden also demand a team, and the league didn't crack down on him. They cracked down on Damian Lillard. And the reason for that, I think, is because the Heat are going to find themselves in a situation where if they don't trade him, or that the only way that they can get Dame is to give Tyler Hero, Nikola Jovic, Duncan Robinson, and a couple picks, which the league should veto. That's not enough for Damian Lillard. That's not a good trade package. But Dame only wants to go there, and they can't get a third team in there, which is why they came out and said you need to not be having Miami as your only place to go.
Yeah. I think it really comes down to like what Portland wants to do with Dame because Miami cannot give them the best return for him. I mean, he's a 10-time All-Star, and whichever team he goes to, he's an instant title contender. And you don't want Tyler Hero for a guy who makes your team a title contender. I think you can get a lot more than that. But if Miami wants to, or I mean, if Portland wants to respect Dame and really trade him to Miami, I don't have a problem with that. But they just won't get the value that they really should be for him.
Yeah, and if I'm Portland's GM, fuck respect. I mean, Damian Lillard's been great for your franchise, but he signed the contract to stay with your
Yeah,
team. He's
that's
signed
the
your extension. He's stuck there. And the team and Portland right now is in such a good position with Scoot Henderson, Anthony Simons, Shaden Sharp, and their young core that they really don't need to move off of Dame. Because even if they don't move off of Dame and trade him for random pieces, they still have a good young core as it is. So wait on Dame, trade him to a team that can give you the best package in return. This what the NBA just did is going to help Portland because now he's going to have to start talking to other teams. The
yep.
Knicks are going to be in there. Brooklyn's going to be in there. Toronto, you mentioned, is going to be in there. I'll let you explain your Toronto take in a second. But
It's the
I
one.
think that the New York Knicks will be interesting. They have a ton of picks, a ton of
Yep.
picks.
Yep.
They have RJ Barrett. They have quickly. They have guys they can package together for Dame. Brooklyn's also interesting, but you don't want to give up Mikal, so I don't know what you want to trade there. But what would you give in a Toronto package? What would your trade package there be?
Okay, so it's got to be one of OG Anunoby, Pascal Siakam, or Scotty Barnes, and they're not trading Scotty Barnes, and it's probably not going to be Pascal Siakam. So I think the best player you can get to put alongside Scoot Henderson, Shaden Sharp at the 1 and the 2 is OG Anunoby. He's that really good 3-and-D wing, and I know you aren't the biggest OG Anunoby fan, but he will make a jump this
Oh
year.
yeah,
I do see the potential in his
I think he
scoring
needs to
ability.
get on another team to make that
Yeah,
jump.
for
I don't
sure.
think being in
He's
Toronto is the greatest place for
definitely
him.
in a shadow over there in Toronto and has been for his whole career. But I mean, he averaged 18 points a game last year for them, a very quiet 18. But
Yeah.
there's not many 3-and-D guys around the NBA. You look at Mikal Bridges as one, maybe Patrick Williams, hopefully. OG Anunoby is definitely one of the better 3-and-D wings in the league, and that's a very valuable thing.
Yeah, I mean, if you're Toronto, you gotta look at all the picks that you have, but I'm assuming they have picks to trade. They have OG Anunoby. They have some other guys. They have they could toss Chris Boucher and other young guys, long,
Yeah.
lengthy guys that can make an impact on a young team. They can make that trade. That's not a bad trade, and that does make them. I don't know if that makes Toronto a title contender because I don't know if Pascal Siakam is that with Dame if those two are enough. I don't know if that's the answer, especially
Oh,
in a conference where Boston is better, Milwaukee is better. I mean, it's I know Milwaukee has its questions around them,
so
but
it would be
it's still
Dame at the
better.
1, Gary Trent at the 2. They've played together before in
Body at the
Portland.
three,
Um,
Pascal at the four. I mean, that's true. Jakob Hurtle at the five.
and
Like that's a
Hurdle at the 5.
I mean,
Rose off the
that's a
bench.
top three team in the East. That team's gonna make some fucking noise. That would be a really good team.
Yeah.
If Portland wants to do it, that's the other thing is Portland could just say, fuck it, we're going to keep you here. And if you
Yeah,
want,
and Toronto's probably interested in doing that, considering they made the trade for Kawhi Leonard not too
yeah,
long ago, and that paid off pretty well for them. So
especially when Dames has on a deal that's longer than 1 year. He's got 3 or 4 years left on this
yeah,
current deal, and
yeah,
it's
I'm
a
sure they love
ridiculous
that.
amount of money, so it's hard to move off of. But it'd be worth it because he probably has 3 to 4 more years in his prime, and
Yep,
him in that team, if you surround him with that amount of length, the shooting that they do have there, that'd be a very dangerous team. I really like that idea. I just don't know if he wants to go play in Toronto, which is
that's
the
the thing.
thing. But I guess at the end of
Yep.
the day, it's not his choice, is it? It's really not Damian Lillard's
There's
choice.
a reason there's a no trade clause, and he didn't have one of those in his contract.
Yeah,
So
the
why does
fact
he
that
get to decide?
The Wizards gave Bradley Beal one is crazy to me.
Yeah,
Uh, we saw what happens when you give a player no trade clause. There's only probably 5 players in the league I'd give a no trade clause to right now, maybe even three: Jokic, Giannis,
Luca.
Wembanyama.
Yeah, not many for sure.
And Wembanyama only because I know whenever because he's not even gonna be eligible for a no trade clause deal for like the next 7 years. But like that's the only guy in the league, even out of the draft too, where you're like, wow, that potential is crazy.
Yeah,
He's gonna be unreal. But we can move off of Dame because people have been talking about Dame for the last month and a half and nothing's happened yet. Talks have continued to slow down. I don't see them heating up again until right before the season starts. And I wouldn't be shocked if Damian Lillard starts the season on Portland still.
neither would I. They've been trying to trade this man, or the fans have, for years.
And if you're Miami, you want to get him as soon as possible because you just lost 2 starters on your championship roster. You need to figure out who you're going to fill those roles with and what's going to happen because Jimmy Butler is not a regular season player. Bam Adebayo is maybe one of the most inconsistent bigs in the league. And Tyler Hero's coming off a broken hand. Tyler Hero's 20 point per game scorer. He's good, but he's nothing special. That team's going to
Yeah,
be in danger of being a play-in team next year again.
it's going to be hard to replace that value of Gabe Vincent and Max Strus. They were really good for them the entire playoff run.
They fit their roles perfectly, and they grew up they blossomed in the Heat culture. It's hard to bring players in to just adapt the Heat culture. It's not easy.
No, but if anyone can do it, it's Eric Spoelstra. So I'm not betting against him.
I agree. Speaking of players, though, that would struggle to adapt Heat culture, Patrick Williams is
He would
probably the
not make it
biggest.
in
He
Miami.
is probably the biggest question for the Chicago Bulls going into next season. You
No
added
doubt.
Sean Carter, you added Torrey Craig, you brought back Kobe, you brought back Vooch. If you look at the free agency on paper, all good moves. I like Torrey Craig and John Carter. They bring shooting, they bring defense, they bring toughness, and they bring veteran leadership. Great pickups.
Yeah.
Vucevic, team-friendly deal. I love it. Kobe White, another team-friendly deal. I love it.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, we're pretty much bringing back the same team. We have Zach, we have DeMar, we have Vooch, our quote-unquote big three. The biggest question is Patrick Williams, and that's been the question for the last 3 years.
Yeah. He is 21 years old. He is still younger than people getting drafted in drafts fucking 3 years after him. He's has the physical and mental, or hopefully mental, to be able to become a star. And I think he can. I've been watching those workout videos over the summer, and I know people say don't buy into the workout videos, but I'm buying into the workout videos.
I'm not buying into the workout video.
He's gonna I think if Billy can actually give him a bigger role, give him 13 shots a game, let him get a groove going from game to game, I think he can score 18 points a game for us this year. And that's massive. If Levine is still scoring 28 and DeRozan scoring 20, same with Vooch.
18 points a game is a stretch.
He was 14 last year.
14, really. The thing about Patrick Williams is it is Billy Donovan's fault, and it's his own fault. Patrick Williams turns down.
Yeah, it's not all on Billy Donovan for
a lot
sure.
of it. Some of it's on Billy Donovan because the offense doesn't move a lot. Especially we saw before we brought in Pat Bevan, who I can't believe Patrick Beverley made that big of a difference on our team, but he did.
Yeah.
Williams does not shoot the ball enough, though. He turns down opportunities to score the ball. This year, he can't. I mean, like you said about
I sent you that chart of his shots like throughout the season.
Yeah, they're all catch and shoot in the corner.
All
That's what his role was in the offense. And understandably so when we have two guys, but if you're not going to get the ball and Billy's not going to drop a play for you, that's where he's going to stand. And he shot 40% from three, which means that he clearly shows that he can improve, right?
Yeah, he did not average 14 points a game. He averaged
11.
10.
Yeah.
He averaged 10. How many
18
shots did he take? Oh my God. Three
game.
threes a game, all spot up. I mean, he was 41%.
How many shots was it? 9, 10?
Uh, 8.5 shots a game.
Which is
8.
ridiculous. Get the guy, get the man, and part of it, like we were just saying, part of it's his fault, but some of it's Billy's fault. Let's see him shoot 12 shots a game. Just 12 to 14 shots a game, and we'll watch the scoring change. Because, like you said, I don't buy into the workout videos, but one thing the workout videos is not going to, one thing that won't be different then is his shot. His shot's going to look like it is in the game that it looks like in the workout
His
videos.
shots always been great. It's
Right.
always,
But
always
it's so much
good.
faster now. It is so much smoother now, and it's more consistent now. His shot is there
Yeah.
now. His defense is there. He was the player in the league that was scored on least last year. He is a all-team defender. He's an all NBA level defender.
He really is, but people don't know that
But
yet. Because the Bulls
of
suck.
course they don't, because he doesn't do enough on this team.
Yeah, no.
Because it's stretch.
DeRozan took 17.5 shots a game last year.
But
That's over double. What?
But I don't hate that he's taking that many shots. P. Will just
Neither do I. But him taking 18 shots a game is definitely taking away from Patrick Williams taking shots.
But Patrick Williams needs to be like, okay, let me go get the ball, because I bet 3 to 4 of those shots that DeMar took were 3 to 4 shots that P. Will turned down.
Yeah, I'm sure that was the case too. And I remember Bulls players last year begging Patrick Williams to shoot the ball. They were screaming it at him. And that's definitely a confidence issue that he has. Because he is so talented. He really does have the frame and the jump shot to be a star in this league.
100%. When the offense comes, because I think coming into the league, everyone was like, he was number 4 overall pick, so he was getting a ton of like high praise, and he was also getting crazy comparisons. A lot of people were saying Kawhi Leonard, and understandably so, because of his defense first, his offense game would evolve. But I think you're more so looking at Luol Deng as his max, which is okay. That's an all-star level player. But if Patrick Williams can turn into 17 to 18 a game with 6 to 7 rebounds a game within the next 2-3 years, then that's great. That's his ceiling, I think. If he goes higher, then prove me wrong. I hope he does go higher, because the Bulls haven't had a top 10 player in the league since Derrick Rose. That was 12 years ago.
He's going higher.
So let's see if Patrick Williams can actually take a jump, because if he takes a jump, this team takes a huge jump.
Yeah.
Because Levine is 27 a game. DeMar DeRozan's 24, 25 a game. Vucevic is going to be a solid 17 and 10. You know what those three are, and those three got you to a record of 40 and 42 last year. Let's see what Patrick Williams can do. And if Patrick Williams can make a fucking jump, then this team will take a fucking jump. But that comes down to Billy Donovan. That comes down to the entire development staff. That comes down to his teammates, like DeMar, like Zach, like Javon Carter, like Vooch, to get him the ball. And it comes down to him. Are you going to shoot the shot or not? If you're not going to shoot the shot, go sit on the end of the bench, which is what he ended up doing last year.
The one young asset that we are hanging our hopes on, he's gotta make the jump this year. We've been waiting for a while for this. And this has got to be the year.
We were impatient before because one was his rookie year, then he got injured, and last year was his year coming off injury. But now it's time. I mean, this is your 4th year. If you're gonna be a player in this league to be reckoned with, this is your year to take a jump. It's about
you shot well, you played good defense last year, but you guard the best player every night, and you also score 15 a game for us. I'll take 15.
Take 14. I mean, you said he averaged 10. You said 10 last year. If he takes a jump to 14 points per game, I'm happy. Very happy. And the other young piece that we have, because I would like him to get more respect than he does, is Kobe White. Kobe White has a chance to also break out in a different way. Not the same ceiling Patrick Williams has, but Kobe White took his biggest leap on the defensive end and the playmaking side of the ball last year. His scoring went down, but after the All-Star break, I believe he was averaging like 11.
Yeah, he went back up.
40%,
the defense is
40% from 3.
The defense really impressed me last year. I mean, I remember 2 years ago, I was ready to give up on the man because he could not guard anyone, and he could always shoot the ball, but he just couldn't guard anyone. And last year, he really did step up and play a much better defense. And he's a 24-year-old who's shooting 40%. And if you can play defense, you are a very good player in the league.
Yeah, he's no longer a liability to have out on the floor at the end of games. I wouldn't be shocked if Caruso finishes games over him, just because Caruso is probably one of the best players in the league to have finished a game because he's
Yeah.
one of the best defenders in the league. But with that being said, Kobe White can shoot. Kobe White is going to be playing the 6-man role, which is huge because the Bulls haven't had a true 6-man in a long time. We've just had either average. We have had a very average bench, and if Kobe White can embrace the 6-man role, it would not shock me if you're looking at 14 points per game on 38 from three, 45 from the field, and 85% from the free throw line. Those aren't bad splits. That wouldn't shock me. And he can defend now.
Yeah, I mean, you can't ask for much more than that coming off the bench. Yeah, he's the other. I mean, you could say Io, but those are really the two that the Bulls organization is making on. Yeah. That guard lineup is going to be very interesting with Caruso, Javon Carter, Io, and Kobe.
Yeah, I mean, if I had to make a prediction, I would say Javon starts, Kobe comes off the bench to the 6-man, and Caruso's your utility guy because Caruso will play 1 through 4, unfortunately, but he will because Billy Donovan plays guards at the 4. I don't think Io gets many minutes until you see injuries or he really impresses. Which I mean,
Yeah,
I'm glad that we retained him and signed him because
me too.
we've seen us give up on young guys early, and we've saw Lowry Markkinen become All NBA and Wendell Carter Jr. go from being bad to 15 and 8 a game.
Yeah. Definitely just blossomed the second they left the Bulls. So I'm happy we got Io. He definitely has the frame. We've seen him shoot well. We've seen him play defense and play make. He's just got to be able to consistently do it, and he did not do that last year. So I think you're right. I don't think he's going to get many minutes to start, but like you said, we have him for 3 seasons, so hopefully
Yeah, I think you're looking at this Bulls roster's ceiling to be a 5 seed at the ceiling, 6 seed at your ceiling. And I wouldn't be shocked if you see us at 9 and 10 again, fighting for a play-in spot, because it all comes down to how well does this team fit together, and are you actually gonna give a shit? Last year we gave up leads to bad teams all the time. If you go look at how many games we lost to bad teams, you'll see many games that we should have won. The Bulls lost 17 games last year by less than 5 points. That just shows a lack of intensity. That's just a lack of wanting to win. And that shows
a lot of those bad teams got better this year. And the Bulls,
there's no bad team left in the NBA.
no.
The only bad team, like the only games you can go into say, hey, we need to win this is like Charlotte and Spurs. And even if you're playing the Spurs, you got to play Wembanyama, Keldon Johnson, Vassell. If you play the Hornets, you got to play LaMelo, Miller,
Yeah.
you got to play those guys.
Yeah, no team is a pushover anymore. I mean, the Pistons got it way better. The Magic are going to be a problem this year.
Yeah, the Magic and Thunder, both two teams, young cores that were playing competitors in the play-in that will take massive jumps this year.
Yeah. Watch out for Franz Wagner. He might average like 24 points a game this year. He's going to be.
Paulo. Who'd they draft this year? What was it? Anthony Black?
Yeah.
He was solid in Summer League. He was really solid in Summer League.
That's the Bulls pick.
Yeah, the Bulls. No.
Yes,
the Bulls pick was later. The Bulls was like 10.
Oh yeah, we were like
he took with 10. Either way, I mean, I'm done thinking about the Bulls picks anymore because that trade is finally finalized. We lost our picks. We lost Franz Wagner. We lost whoever they took 10th this year. Clearly wasn't that special because I don't remember his name. He probably
went out.
Yeah, I mean,
that's probably what we thought about Franz when he was drafted, except Franz is going to be really fucking good.
Yeah, I mean,
whatever.
Plenty of mistakes. But we'll move on to that because
we have Vucevic.
I mean, the Bulls. We got to move on as Bulls fans from hating on the past because here's the thing: we should have tanked last year, right? We should have realized Lonzo wasn't going to play and tanked last year for this year's draft class. That's what we should have done. We didn't. There was no point in tanking this offseason and resetting because unless you were going to get a massive haul for Zach LaVine, which you weren't getting, you weren't going to get great value for DeMar DeRozan. You couldn't let Vooch walk for free. Every move the Bulls made this offseason was a smart move just to compete for one more year. It's what we do next offseason that will determine – it's what we do this season, how we look, and then what we do next offseason that will determine the next 5 years of this team.
For sure. And like we said, I know we keep harping on this, but it all comes down to Patrick Williams and what he can do next year. I mean, he's up for a contract as well. He can get paid a lot a lot of money if he's good. So
Yeah,
we'll see.
his growth.
Our hopes and dreams are on him.
Yeah, he'll also determine what we do with DeMar. If Patrick Williams makes
Yeah,
a jump, we don't need DeMar anymore. But yeah, I mean that's all we really wanted to go over today. As the season starts to pick up, gets closer, we'll finally have more stuff to talk about. I'm hoping that this Dame trade gets through soon, so we can have
yeah,
some sort of semblance of what the Eastern Conference and the NBA landscape is going to look like as far as contenders go. And then we'll be able to get going with the season. I'm excited for the season to start. What are we, 2 months away now?
something like that. Yeah,
I think training camp starts in 3 weeks.
that's very close. Yeah, 3 weeks sounds right.
So thank you guys for tuning in. If you guys want to catch more content and keep up with us, go over to our TikTok. It's just Beat the Buzzer. We'll be uploading a bunch of stuff, previewing the season, previewing everyone's team and all fan bases we cover there. So thank you guys for watching. We'll see you guys next time.